I'm going to be completely honest with y'all, okay? And I don't know if this was my own ignorance or what, but until like the past 5 years, I did not realize how many black men hate black women. And of course, as a mental health care provider, I know a lot of this stems from trauma, possibly with their mother or another female in the past, or maybe they had an emotionally incestuous relationship with their mother, and that's why they have these perspectives. But whatever the case may be, it is disturbing. It is a black woman's fault that she is a single mom, even though it is the man who left. It is a black woman's fault that she has to be independent, even though the men around her were not being supportive. And yes, of course, women have to take accountability for the people that they allow in their life and the decisions that they make. But at what point do we begin holding men accountable? At what point do we say, hey, men, do better?
Well, there's something else going on in our community that is extremely disturbing also. And that is a lot of our highly educated women, specifically in the mental health field, are pure idiots. How is it that a mental health care provider makes a delineation that black men overall hate black women simply because black women are single mothers? Let's just rewind this tape and let me break down everything in specificity for y'all.
I did not realize how many black men hate black women. And of course, as a mental health care provider, I know a lot of this stems from trauma, possibly with their mother or another female in the past, or maybe they had an emotionally incestuous relationship with their mother, and that's why they have these perspectives.
So this part is interesting. Remember, this is a mental health care provider. She went to college for this, right? She says, think about this, the men that she perceives as women haters were potentially traumatized by women. So who are these women that traumatize these men? Their mothers. So this is the first part of the puzzle. If black men are looking at black women in a certain light, and the reason why they're looking at black women in this certain light is because their mothers, who are black women, traumatized them, right? Due to her insinuation of an emotional incestuous relationship with the son and the mother. That means no father, because it wouldn't be emotionally incestuous if there was a father in the home, right? So the variables that we've collected in what she said thus far is more or less saying that thousands of men, maybe millions of men, were raised by single mothers. And the second part is a possibility that some of these men had an emotional incestual relationship with their mothers. So who would be the perpetrator of the incestual stuff, or the fact that there's no father in the home? The young boy that is a child, or the actual mother? So if men have these perspectives, where did they get them from? Their mother, or their experience of only having a mother and not a father? And who is in charge of providing a father for an unborn child? The mother, right? Because when I was born, I couldn't read, write, or talk. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't request who my daddy was or anything. I had no say-so. But there was a person that had a say-so on who my daddy is, or who anybody else's daddy is, or whose daddy is married to their mom versus allowing some random dude to knock up their mom. And then this educated scholar goes on to say, why is it, or how is it, a black woman's fault that she's a single mom? Because she had some legs. We all have legs, right? And she opened those legs and she allowed some random dude that didn't marry her to impregnate her, right? So this particular woman is married, which means she did things the right way versus these other women who didn't do things the right way. So I'm not really mad at her. I'm just mad at what she's saying due to the fact that she isn't living y'all's life. So in a way, she's kind of making fun of y'all because she did things the right way. She doesn't have a baby daddy. So in a way, she's kind of making fun of y'all by talking about us, but talking about y'all at the same time. So let's go deeper, since I'm not an educated scholar myself. If I was a woman, the last thing I would ever do is allow some random person that doesn't want me, didn't marry me, to impregnate me, knowing I'm going to be stuck with the baby. What type of person would do that? And if I allowed that, because like I said, I have legs, right? These are my legs that I open and close to whatever or whoever. wouldn't I be stupid if I allowed some random dude to impregnate me? Or am I wrong? Then she says, even though it's the man who left, the man never was there. That's the thing that nobody wants to pay attention to. He never married her. So there was no left. He was never there. Here's a pure fact. Virtually every last one of you unmarried single mothers, your first baby daddy was a bum. Your first baby daddy was a loser. And that is a fact. Not talking to the married women, but if you're an unmarried single mother, it is a fact that your first baby daddy was a loser, was a bum. So when she makes the joke, because like I said, she's making fun of y'all about why did he leave? You already know. Leave from where? Y'all was just playing around. You knew he didn't have a job. You knew he didn't have anywhere to stay. Y'all weren't married. Y'all was just doing whatever y'all was doing without a condom. And the reason why, to a certain degree, he's relieved of his duties as a father is because you didn't want him to be a father. He tried to be in your child's life, but guess what happened? You told him he couldn't see his child. So he eventually gave up. See, let me add a little education to this, even though I'm not a scholar, and tell y'all exactly what's going on in our black community. Since this particular woman seems to be clueless to what's going on.
The breaking process of the African woman. We reversed nature by her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed. The ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen independent state. To a frozen independent state. In this frozen psychological state of independence, she will raise her male and female offspring in reversed roles. Because she has become psychologically independent, she will train her female offspring to be psychologically independent. She will train her female offspring to be psychologically independent.
It is a black woman's fault that she has to be independent. It is a black woman's fault that she has to be independent, even though the men around her were not being supportive.
So as you see, she used the word independent, right? But in the video I just showed you, back in 1714 or whenever this Willie Lynch letter was put together, they also used the word independent, right? So in 2023, women are still whining and lying to themselves about being forced to be independent. No, you are choosing to be independent. Why?
Now black men are like, you know what? At least the quality black men are like, you know what? I actually want to lead my family and my wife in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And we're being met with, well, I'm comfortable being strong, independent, and I don't need no man.
We can finally do that. We finally will feel free. This generation, we can finally be entrepreneurs, do things that we've never been able to do.
So y'all have become selfish then?
No, we feel like we can provide for our own kids by ourselves.
A single mother?
One, you have no idea what to do with a man because your mom didn't have a man, your auntie didn't have a man, your best friend didn't have a man, your coworker didn't have a man. Every woman around you is a single mother. Nobody's married. So you don't even know what to do with a man, how to get married, how to be married. You don't know how to do anything. Even if you look at your family dynamic, 98% of your family members are women. And these 98% of women that are in your family literally sat you down in different situations, in different times of your life, and told you, don't trust no man, go out and get your own education and be independent because you don't need no man. Tell me I'm wrong. And then she said, even though the men around her were not being supportive, what men? Nobody in your family is married. Where are all the men that you say aren't being supportive? They don't exist because you haven't surrounded yourself with any strong, supportive men. And your parent, one, not two, your parent did not supply you with a daddy, did not supply you with an uncle that wasn't nasty. But at the end of the day, your mom, the person that was supposed to protect you, failed to do so and allowed certain grown people in your world that didn't have any business being there, and now you are traumatized. And lastly, the most hilarious part of this whole video is this educated scholar not hold any woman accountable, not say anything that women should be doing, protecting their womb from pookies or anything. And at the end, she turns around and says, at what point do we hold men accountable? You didn't hold women accountable. See, the truth is, even animals, lions, tigers, eagles, robins, owls, all have mating strategies. So black women are the only beings on the planet Earth that have babies by random males. Any other animal on the planet does not have babies with weak males on purpose. You ladies, the majority of you, except for this woman because she got married, are counterintuitive to your own nature. I'll say it again. The majority of you ladies in our community operate counterintuitive to your own nature. An eagle, for example, has a mating strategy. She literally picks up a stick and flies at a high altitude at a high speed and literally drops the stick midair. And the male that is trying to mate with her has to catch the stick while it's falling midair while he's trying to chase her at the same time. And if he cannot catch the stick, guess what? He cannot mate. Animals have mating strategies, but y'all will let any Pookie, Ray Ray, or whoever impregnate you. 1, with no car. 2, with no job, with no purpose in life. 4, he doesn't even have to want to be with you because all you want is a baby. And 5, without marrying you.
I wanted a baby. That's that. I only ever planned for having a baby. I didn't plan on that baby growing up and going to elementary school or going to college and being an adult. I did not even plan for any of that.
And that is the reason why you are a single mother. Not her. She's married. Like I said, her whole video is underhandedly making fun of y'all. But you are the problem because you keep allowing random dudes to impregnate you. Something that animals aren't dumb enough to do. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.